What does it really take to become the go-to expert of your industry? And what can we maybe learn from Tom Cruise about being the best of the best? I actually just recently watched Top Gun Maverick in 4DX, which is just a remarkable experience, by the way. So I was inspired to be right here with you to share with you some of the lessons that I took away from it that can help your coaching or consulting business scale faster than a hypersonic aircraft. It's amazing to me how many incredibly competent experts who are really extraordinary at what they do end up settling for mediocrity and conform to the status quo when it comes to growing their income and building a business. And listen, I get it. You might be thinking there's just no need to reinvent the wheel. A lot of experts and professionals have a very stable career, decent salary, life is going along, and things are just good enough. However, we are capable of rising so far beyond average and reinventing ourselves and speaking this unique voice into the marketplace through marketing and sales that allow us to stand out in a meaningful way and make a very powerful impact. And this is really where the lesson becomes so relevant. How to become the maverick, the go-to expert in your industry. If you're new here with us, I'm Jeremy Bellotti, founder of Personal Mastery. We are the company and channel here that specialize in helping experts, coaches, and consultants increase their value, master premium client acquisition, and make a meaningful difference without having to sacrifice their freedom. You can learn more at personalmastery.com. Now, before we get into it, just to be clear, spoiler alert, all right? There likely will be some spoilers. As I mentioned, just recently saw Top Gun Maverick and was just inspired to be here with you and sharing some of the insights and some of the things that stuck out to me, some of the lessons I learned. And I'm going to be speaking about it completely openly. So please know that you might end up hearing something that you may want to see the movie first before you end up watching. So spoiler alert before you dive in, okay? The first thing that I think it's really important to understand, like when we think of Maverick, when we think of this idea of being a maverick, well, what really is a maverick? Let's think about it, right? It's that lone dissenter. It's the one that takes an independent stand apart from the norm, that rebellious and disruptive one that just does not conform. You don't do things the conventional way. And one thing that ended up standing out to me big time, and listen, I don't know Tom Cruise personally, okay? Maybe you do. If you do, go ahead and send me this video, okay? And I certainly cannot judge in any way his ability as an actor. That's not my purpose in this video. However, I can appreciate just a job well done. And it was pretty amazing as you go in the actual film. Right beforehand, Tom Cruise actually comes on and shares a message to the audience. And I just thought it was really impactful to be able to see a very authentic message from the main actor, being able to say, the last thing he said was, "We made this for you." And gave some insight in just like a lot of the challenge and hardship of being able to build and create such a robust movie, such an incredibly challenging film, and being able to say and look in the eyes of the audience and say, all of that hardship, all of that challenge, all of that passion and purpose in every bit of this movie that created this incredible experience, that was for you. Enjoy it. Pretty remarkable. It's actually, I get goosebumps because I look at that and I experience the lack of passion that I think a lot of experts and professionals put into their day-to-day experience when it comes to maybe just going around and going through the motions of any particular career or this path that they maybe see as a job versus a calling. And that calling to be so connected and passionate about every little thing that you're able to do. And what you see from someone as just legendary as Tom Cruise at this point, right? It's that passion for his craft. You could just feel it off the screen. You could completely connect with, if nothing else, the genuine passion for the craft. And it's that pure joy and appreciation to being in service, right? Just falling in love with solving big problems and centering everything around the results and the well-being of your audience. And that's something that's missing from a lot of very well-meaning coaches who have all of the capacity to deliver incredible level of impact in the world. And they're missing this connection to that passion, right? That respect and mastery of the skills of coaching or the art behind enrollment and the science of profitable business building, right? There's this disconnect. But that passion, that joy is what delivers the longevity in your ability to serve, your ability to grow, your ability to truly contribute. And it also deepens the respect you have in the marketplace, right? It is what positions you to being the highest paid expert in your industry. I see so many experts falling into this trap of getting caught up in the next tactical thing, right? If they're building online, they're getting stuck on the funnel building or on the web page or the building a site, and they're getting stuck with all these different tactical mechanisms that only restrict their capacity to truly grow. And they hit this revenue ceiling, and they're doing everything that is the conventional idea of what you should be doing when you're putting your business online and trying to become a coach or quote unquote coach, right? But we need to be willing to throw out that conventional playbook and really step up as a maverick of our industry and be willing to take a stand for a direction that allows us to truly be able to go out there. And, you know, it is a great example in the movie, which is one of the scenes where he is now a teacher at Top Gun, and he's got the entire class in front of him. It's the first time that he sees them, and he pulls out the playbook of what everyone in the room knows that they should be doing when they get in the cockpit and they are flying those fighter jets. And he ends up throwing it in the trash because he says, all of you know this step by step, word for word. And that's exactly why we're throwing it in the trash, because your enemy, the people you are going to be going up against, they know you know that. They know exactly word for word what's in that, and they know that's what you're going to follow. And it's that conventional wisdom that we sometimes need to be able to take a look at and ask the question, is this truly going to allow you to maneuver your way to another level, and maybe a level that a lot of people have not been willing to go to when it comes to being able to express your passion for being able to serve at the level beyond anyone in the marketplace. Be willing to stretch yourself and test your limits. Don't allow the limitations of circumstances around you to dictate your capacity to truly go out there and transform lives, right? We must be willing to take a stand. And the other aspect of this is to really step up as a leader, right? We've got to be willing to step up as a leader, not a leader who dictates, but who deciphers the best in others and empowers them to be able to become more, because that's also going to allow us to stretch our limits, right? This is one reason we talk about the fact that we believe that mission-driven entrepreneurship is the purest expression of personal mastery, because it is going to require you to become so much more. It's going to inspire you to take meaningful action when others said it wasn't possible. It's going to really invite you to think beyond the traditional playbook of options and start creating your own roadmap to being able to really make a difference. And we've got to be able as well to be the living example of that. There was an incredible scene in the movie that it was very powerful as I'm like going through this. Number one, I saw it in 4DX, so it was just like a wild experience. It was like a freaking roller coaster. But it also, you know, I'm so in this calling of serving you and seeing you grow and progress and being able to inspire coaches and experts all around the world, that when I am in the middle of this movie, I'm also seeing the messaging behind some of these moments. And one of them is in the movie, they're talking about all the different things that need to be done during the training, right? And during the training, they're going through various different examples of what it could like. They're giving set parameters. They're starting to map out their voyage, if you will, and their flight path. But no one has actually really been able to do it. And every one of the pilots that is trying to go through this flight path and attempting to do it, they're getting stuck because in their mind, they're saying, well, this isn't even possible. Like there's not enough time. Some of the pilots were going too quickly. Some of the pilots were not going fast enough. And all of them have no idea whether or not this is even possible to be able to hit their target in this amount of time. And all the while, they're sitting there with this limited belief around what is possible. And the way that they're able to break through that is because there's a leader, there's a Maverick who's willing to go beyond the limitations of what everybody believes is possible and steps up and jumps in and does it himself. He takes the stand and says, you know what? You guys don't believe that this is possible? I'm going to show you. I'm going to be that living example. I'm not just going to talk about it and teach about it. I'm going to live it. I'm going to take a stand here, and I'm willing to make the mistakes. I'm willing to fail. But what I will not tolerate is anything less than what I know is possible, and opening that reality for all of you to be able to see. And if we fail, if we make mistakes, that's fine, but you guys get to realize that this is a reality. And he went and did it, right? He went and did it because that level of certainty and conviction allowed for a space for him to be able to make it happen. And all of a sudden, everybody starts looking around and realizes this is possible. We can actually do this. This can be done. And really what I would invite you to recognize is where you maybe are going into a place where you're limited by the scope of the circumstances around you, the conventional wisdom around you, the traditional ways of doing things in your particular industry, and where you are able to rise beyond those limitations to provide even more value, to go even more committed to serving your clients at a level that they never experienced before. How do you bring that commitment of entrepreneurship, of true passion to your craft, to every moment of you showing up at Maverick?
Hey, my friend, hope you enjoyed that video. Listen, if you're looking for a way to increase your value, master premium client acquisition, and make a meaningful difference without sacrificing your freedom, then you've come to the right place. I want you to do two things right now. Number one is click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that way you never miss a new video and you can make sure that you get notifications. And number two, if you are an expert, coach, or consultant that is ready to build a reliable business online, become more along the way, and you want to work with us personally to take your life and business to the next level, then go to personalmastery.com, learn how you can become our client.